Hey guys, how's it going? Yeah, sorry we're a little late. Jose is stuck at the border right now. He was trying to cross legally into back into Mexico, and he got detained at the border. I told him he should have just crossed illegally, but he didn't listen to me. So, yeah, he should be here soon. My apologies. In the meantime, I guess I'm gonna just take it from here. Hey guys, welcome back to another show. Hope you guys are ready to have some fun. Yeah, sorry about that. It was that's the first time I really do any live streams here. I was didn't know if I was live or not. Anyways, guys, yeah, he should be here soon. Hey, what are you doing, bro? What are you doing? You're messing my whole thing up already. Jeez, hey, you gotta get back. You gotta get you back over here where you belong. Hey, yeah, sorry, guys. Don't listen to him. All right, don't listen to me either. All right. You know, just FYI, for those of you guys that haven't figured it out yet, you know, I'm trying to entertain you guys out there. I see a lot of people have already been losing their poop, you know, see, you know, on before I even started the show, without even knowing what I was gonna say or do. But anyways, hey, let's give a big hand to Lambo. You know, everybody out there, let's give a big shout out to Lambo. He did a great job, you know, helping open up the show. He's did an amazing job. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if it's a little too loud there. Let's get a little more cheering action for the guy. All right, good. That's right. Anyways, guys. So, hey, you already know the deal, guys. Guys, hey guys, how's it going? And welcome back to another live stream. You guys already know, what do I do on this channel? I like to cover topics and talk about things that nobody is talking about, okay? And whether or not you are going to lose your poo-poo over there on your end, that's your problem. That's not my problem, okay? I'm just letting you guys know as it is. I want to let you guys all know my political affiliation, you know, before we get started, since everyone's so worried about that. It's none. Zero, okay? None of the above, all right? You guys remember that movie with Richard Pryor, Brewster's Millions? You know, vote for none of the above. But hey, whatever, you know what I mean? To me, you know, I live in Mexico. I've been living in Mexico for over 6 years. So why should I even be involved in the political process back home? If you are someone like me, you should be asking yourself the same question. Now, if you still travel back and forth or you live in the USA, I totally get it. You know, hey, it is what it is. I like sports. I like to cheer, you know, for my team, you know, whether or not they're good. It is what it is. I totally understand. I totally understand the polarizing aspect of to the world that we're living in today, in which people can hardly even not only take a joke, but even discuss actual topics. All right, and this is an actual topic. The reason I'm bringing this up again, it has nothing to do with politics in the sense of you know, what side am I on? Am I here to bash Trump or to bash, you know, what's the other one, Kamala? I don't know, but I forgot. You know, Kamala and the other guy. The point is that, look, the reality is that, you know, remember, my channel is about moving to Mexico. It's about living in Mexico. And, you know, again, it doesn't matter how you're going to look at this. There's a lot of concerns out there by a lot of people, all right, as to whether or not, you know, Trump will invade Mexico. And why do I say this? Because, you know, I don't know, months ago or years ago, I want to say years ago. He did say this, okay? And he has talked about this. And this has been a, you know, kind of like a topic of debate, you know, with him and the current Mexican president and the current Mexican president, AMLO, and the president that's about to take power, which is Claudia Sheinbaum. You know, the reality is that I don't know if you guys have been living under a rock or a tree or whatever, but, you know, there's a problem at the border. There's a border crisis, an immigrant crisis. You know, there's this thing, the drug war. I don't know if you guys remember about that drug war, and everything that has to do with all of that stuff, okay? So, you know, there's a problem at the border when it comes to, you know, the drug war, bringing illegal weapons into Mexico. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on. Okay, not just the illegal immigration coming into the USA that's crossing through Mexico. That's just the new thing. All right, that's just the thing now. But the reality is that, you know, there's always been kind of like a problem. In fact, I don't know if you guys are aware, but in the USA, there's like a bit of a drug problem. I know. You know, like the old saying goes, it's only a problem if you can't handle it, right? But sorry, I know it's a little too dark there. Hold on, let me see if we can. But no, the reality is that the USA is going through a drug problem, and part of the rhetoric of a political party out there, the one that Trump supports, the one, you know, the Republican Party, whatever, is that they said that they are thinking, you know, they wanted to invade Mexico. But, you know, before we even get too deep into it, what do I think? Do I think that, you know, Trump or anyone in power in the USA is going to invade Mexico? No, they're not. They're not, okay? And that's what we're going to be talking about more in depth today, all right? Because I'm trying to, you know, quell the worries of many people out there in the audience that are worried about this. There's a lot of people that are scared if Trump takes power. There's a lot of people that are scared if Kamala takes power. It is what it is. I mean, okay? And so I'm not just scared if they take power, staying and living in the USA, but even scared, you know, as to depending on who's going to win the election, how's it going to affect people living abroad, living in Mexico specifically, all right? So this has been something that has been said, okay, multiple times, all right, that, Trump has said that he's wanted to invade, you know, Mexico. And he said this because, again, to fix the drug problem, to fix, you know, the cartels. We have to come into Mexico to quell the problem with the cartels. You know, hey, since Mexico cannot take care of the violence and the blah, 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 then we have to go in there and we have to bring in our army and we have to, you know, basically take over. We have to fight these terrorists, okay? These cartels, okay, that are, you know, now terrorists, okay? So it is what it is. And so, look, it doesn't matter what I talk about. I could talk about the weather. I could talk about my horse. I could talk about anything at all, and there's going to be people out there that are going to get upset. They're going to unsubscribe. They're going to, get their, panties in a bunch or titties in a bunch or whatever it is, and it is what it is. I cannot do anything about it, okay? We're living, through a very, very polarizing political year in the USA. All right, not just in the USA, but here in Mexico as well. All right, I got a lot of hate just even discussing the Mexican election and the political situation out here, and obviously the same thing in the USA. Again, for those of you guys that are new here and don't know me, I consider the whole thing a clown show. Okay, I am not into politics. Okay, if I would rather watch WWE wrestling, or I would rather watch a WWF. Okay, to me, it's basically the same thing. Watching something like Hulk Hogan, all right, and Stone Cold Steve Austin, as opposed, and the politics. Okay, it's all a show. It's as simple as that. And so, look, on my other channel. Okay, let's just get into it real quick. On my other channel. All right. Remember, I do live streams every Thursday on this channel, and I also do live streams on my other channel. And on my other channel, again, you guys can see, the last few videos that I've made. I've been talking a little bit about politics. It really all started, when Trump got shot. Which, by the way, no one's talking about anymore. But that's, again, we're going to discuss that on the other channel later today. But then subsequently, there's been a lot of, insanity on the other side of the ball. So it's been very easy to basically cover the left and make fun of the left. Again, that's what I did for the last few weeks, all right? Talking about, again, Biden relieving himself, or, Trump not sure what color Kamala is anymore. But I decided, you know what? Let's talk about Trump today. Let's pick on him. I don't want to just keep picking on the left. It's easy pickings, might as well, I have to challenge myself a little bit. So I was like, hey, we got to cover both sides equally. All right. It is a clown show after all. I can't just pick on one side of the clowns. So, for people right now in the audience, getting upset that I'm even talking about Trump and saying anything about Trump. I mean, again, I've been making fun of Kamala. I mean, or the left. In fact, today, it's a lot. The topic that I should have been picking on my other channel today, not Trump's ear. It should have been, the VP pick and all this other stuff, okay? But whatever, okay? On the other channel, okay, it's all comedy. On this channel, I try to be a little bit more serious about the situation at hand because, look, most of you guys out there in the audience are looking for a way out. You guys are looking for a way to get out of the system, to get out of the USA. It doesn't matter what side of the political aisle you're on. Okay, everybody has their reasons for not wanting to be in the USA right now, going forward, whatever. Okay. Again, some people are scared of Trump. Some people are scared of Kamala. Some people are scared of everybody. It is what it is. But this is the thing that we're kind of discussing, and I think a lot of you guys out there in the audience are trying to escape. The fact that you can't even talk about anything anymore. Everybody loses their shit. Okay, it is what it is. And to me, it is ridiculous. It is hilarious. It is funny. The fact that I even brought this topic to hand and how many people have been jumping down my throat. And again, it doesn't matter what side I pick on. But again, on this channel, I'm not trying to talk politics. I'm not. And that's not what we're talking about here at all. I'm just trying to let you guys know, okay? And we're going to talk deeper and go in depth, as to the relationship between Mexico and the USA and, well, why they will never invade Mexico. And by the way, even if they decide to invade Mexico, the USA decides to invade Mexico, listen, Mexico might not have an army, military like the USA, but they got the cartels that have been armed to the teeth by the same American government, okay? So again, people right now thinking that I'm hating on Trump, let's not forget who armed the cartels, okay? Obama. All right, and others, okay? But I don't want to get into all that, okay? It's not political. The point I'm trying to make here, okay, is to, put people at ease in the audience that are watching this, all right, that you're going to be fine. If you move to Mexico, if, you're able to get out and you move to Mexico, that you will be fine. That, there's no, animosity between, Mexicans and the USA. Between Mexican citizens and American citizens. Sure. We've talked about it in the past when we talked about gentrification and Americans, gringos behaving badly, expats behaving badly. We've talked about this. We're going to keep talking about it because, it's also easy pickings and it's also a problem, okay? But outside of that, most Mexicans, they got no problems with Americans, all right? And not just that, but on top of that, again, there's just absolutely, no way or no desire. There's no real gain or reason as to why the USA would invade Mexico. But there's a lot of people out there, again, for example, on the right, okay, that even when Trump said, hey, we got to invade Mexico because we have to go after the cartel, or hey, we have to fight the cartel. Since Mexico's not fighting the cartel, we got to go and fight the cartel for the American people. Again, people on the right don't want to admit that, even though it has been talked about multiple times, like, are you kidding me right now? You can just look it up yourself. You can just Google it, all right? It's right there. You can see him say it. And then the complete opposite on the other end of the spectrum, you know what I mean? Where, there's absolutely no problem whatsoever, right? They don't want to even admit that there's an immigration problem, that there's a drug problem, that there's any kind of problem at all, all right? And, but look, at the end of the day, all right, we got to remember that, again, left wing or right wing, they're both on the same bird. Okay, so they're the same thing. All right, let's not forget that. All right, so, but again, I know a lot of people, they don't care. Look, just like I am a Miami Dolphins fan. all right? Or I could be, you know, the fan of the Chicago Cubs, all right? And I could be delusional in thinking that they're going to be any good or bad or whatever it is. It's the same thing. You know, politics is like sports. You know, you pick your team, you support your team, and you go with that, all right? But the reality is that when pressed, you know, they have asked the Mexican president, AMLO, and they have asked Claudia Sheinbaum, which is now the upcoming president. She already won the election. She's going to be, what is it, like squared in? What is it there? Anyway, she's going to be put into office real soon. But both of them have been talked, you know, they've been asked about this situation. They've been asked about this situation by the American media and by other media as to what they are planning on doing or what they're going to do about the cartels and the drug problem in the USA. And both presidents have said the same thing to the USA. Okay? So this is what they've said. This is what Mexico says about the US drug problem. You want it to stop? Stop buying our drugs. The end. Okay? The only reason that the cartels constantly bring drugs into the USA, all right, and you know, for the consumer in the USA is because there's a huge market, okay, and unfortunately, you know this, you see this every single day, especially if you live in a major city in the USA. So if you are right now in any major, you know, city, all right, Democrat-run city, whatever, it doesn't matter, Republican-run, they're out there, okay, trust me, they're out there, but it doesn't matter. The point is that you know that the USA is having a major drug problem right now, and the USA, all right, is trying to solve that problem, right? I don't know if they are or not, but that's what they say. And so the you know, the people on the right, you know, their solution is to again come out here and fight the cartel, all right? But again, for anyone that knows what the real situation is, I mean, the cartel is already in the USA, all right? They're growing in the USA. You know, they're, you know, functioning in the USA, all right? Actively, all right? So that whole idea is kind of nuts because it's like, again, if they invade, you know, the USA invades Mexico, how many sleeper cells are already, you know, and again, not just the sleeper cells that are in the USA at the moment of cartels, you know, that are running businesses or drugs or whatever it is. But at the same time, you know, the fact is that, you know, there's a lot of Mexican Americans. There's a lot of Mexican Americans in the USA that have been living there for generations or whatever it is. And, you know, the whole idea is just insane to me. It's just insane to me that could even happen. Now, it is not insane at all for me, you know, it's not insane for me at all or for anyone out there to believe that, you know, these politicians are going to say whatever it takes in order to get the votes, all right? But you guys already know, or you should know, that they say one thing and then once they get in office, they don't do anything. You know, they do whatever they want, all right? But there's just no way, all right? Because right now, think about it, Trump, okay? Right now, Trump, you know, number one enemy is China. You know, we hate China. So if Trump hates China and they're, you know, going to put more tariffs and they're going to go after China even harder, okay, once, you know, Trump gets elected, assuming he gets elected, they need to rely on Mexico even more. So the whole idea of an invasion is just dumb, okay, and it doesn't make any sense, and it's just rhetoric, okay? Remember, they're going to say whatever they got to say to get the votes. That's all it is. And there's a lot of Americans out there that would love, you know, to solve this drug problem. And they think that solving the drug problem is to invade Mexico and to go after the cartels in Mexico. They literally jump into Mexico and go after. But that's not, you know, that's not going to happen. All right, for too many reasons. But again, the reality is that that drug problem in the USA needs to be fixed within the USA. All right. All of a sudden, again, this is just capitalism. If all of a sudden, okay, the USA has no more demand for drugs, well, then the cartels are just going to move on to selling you avocados or whatever it is. You know, there's a reason why the immigration problem, you know, all these immigrants that are coming into the USA, it's just, you know, again, the floodgates have been open, and there's a reason why the influx of immigrants has, again, my God, not only has it not stopped, it just keeps increasing no matter what. It's because the cartels, okay, they've realized, hey, there's money to be made to, basically human trafficking. So what are we going to do? The USA wants, these immigrants in the USA. Great. We're going to meet them all the way at the bottom. We're going to meet them at the Guatemala-Mexico border. All right. And, we're going to ask for a fee and we're going to transport them all the way to the border. Just like they do with drugs, just like they do with other things, okay? Yes, including avocados, believe it or not, okay? Yes, okay, but that's, again, so the whole idea, okay, is very silly, all right? The cartels themselves, they don't even allow those drugs to be consumed and sold in Mexico. So they know the dangers. They're just businessmen. We talked about this before. They're not interested or care, as to what the USA wants to buy. They're just there to sell it to them. All right. So if you want drugs, you got drugs. You want illegal immigrants, they're going to give you illegal immigrants, whatever it is. And that's just the reality of it. Okay. And so there are ways in order to fix this problem in the USA, but they're choosing not to do it. Okay. And I don't want to get into all that. That's the USA problem. But again, what today's video is about is the fact that, we are talking about the fact that whether or not, Trump, would invade Mexico. And again, if you remember his first 4 years as president, he got along great with the Mexican president. Trump had an amazing relationship with Mexico, and Mexico had an amazing relationship with Trump in the USA, all right? There was no animosity, there was no problems, no nothing, all right? Basically, Mexico wants to be free. They want to be a sovereign nation. They don't want to be the colony of the USA. They don't want to be, just a second-class kind of country or citizen, compared to, other countries, in the eyes of the USA. So the reality is that Mexico, in the past, they have had presidents that have been very, they have been very, how do I say this? Like puppets. They have been puppets for the USA. All right. So in previous, iterations of the Mexican presidency, past presidents have been basically like this with the USA, meaning the USA says jump and Mexico says how high. But ever since Morena has been in power, aka AMLO, and now Claudia Sheinbaum, they're not doing that no more. They're not doing that at all. Sure, they're working like this, but now it's on fair terms. If the USA tells Mexico jump, Mexico saying like, no, we're not jumping. Do I look like a Mexican jumping bean to you? I'm not jumping. All right. You want me to jump? There's a fee. You got to pay the fee. All right. And I'll jump. That's it. It's more business now these days. And we got to remember, there are entities out there that run, different kind of entities out there that run the show. Okay. And in Mexico, one of the big entities that runs the show, I think it's pretty, common knowledge these days, is the cartel. They're the ones that really, really run the show. And they're businessmen. We've talked about this multiple times. So right now, the whole idea that, Trump or anyone, any U.S. president, any, U.S. Politician would try to do this. It would not be allowed. It would not even be a thing. It's just rhetoric. It's just talk. That's all it is. All right. And like I said, you can go. I'm not going to show you on this channel because there's copyrights and strikes and all this other stuff, and news outlets, believe it or not, if I show basically U.S. politicians talking about this, they're gonna basically ding me on YouTube. Okay, so I'm trying to avoid getting in any more trouble than I already get in by doing the videos I do and talking about the things that I do out here. All right. But the reality is that there's just no way, that's ever going to happen. And there is a solution. Again, they've asked both presidents, both Mexican presidents, okay, the current and the past, as to what is, what would be the solution here? Because again, the U.S. has come down on Mexico and basically said, hey, you got to control the cartels. You got to get, the army or this, that, trying to tell Mexico what to do about the cartels. All right. But again, they have already said, look, we can't do anything about them. They're powerful and they're doing their thing, and, they're private citizens and, blah, 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 and yada, yada, yada. Okay. Just, like the mafia at one point in the USA was in power. And, but basically the advice that Mexican politicians have given the USA is basically, listen, they're just capitalists, all right? You want them to stop importing these things, stop consuming them, okay? There's a reason why the cartel have taken over the avocado industry, okay? I don't know, again, you guys living in the USA, you guys love your avocado toast, you guys love guacamole, you guys love avocado. So, well, the cartel had, got into that industry. So again, you gotta just look at it that way, all right? And obviously the USA, they say that they want to fix the drug problem, but they haven't. They would rather send money to, I don't know, other countries to fight wars and do all this stupid stuff when they can simply really fix this problem, of homelessness, drug use, and the deterioration of the society in the USA. All right. Let's not forget, at the end of the day, these cartels, the only thing that they really want in return for drugs is guns. 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 Okay. And who's giving these guns to these cartels? How are they getting these guns so easily? All right. Just because the U.S. government is involved in this. Okay. Whether you like it or not. All right. And this is the true reality of it. You need to do some research. Okay. So it doesn't really matter who's in power. Okay. This toxic relationship, when it comes to the drug war, is going to continue. It's just going to continue. Okay. The cartels are not in any interest in stopping it right now because it's good money. And, they got a high paying customer on the other side of the border. So they're just going to continue with that. So do you think that all of a sudden the United States of America is actually going to invade Mexico? First of all, they couldn't even invade Afghanistan. They couldn't even invade, half of those countries out there. So what makes you think that they're going to, do anything here? So that to me is the real reason, as to, why I think a lot of people, are scared, as to, Trump getting in power when it comes to, living in Mexico, because they think that something like that's going to happen when that's not the case at all. Again, Mexico and Trump, got along great. And just like Mexico and Biden got along great. Look, when Biden, got elected president, AMLO, the Mexican president, was one of the last ones to acknowledge his his presidency. All right. But he eventually did. And eventually, again, now, Biden and AMLO, they got along great. Why? Because, again, Mexico is a major trading partner. In fact, the most important trading partner that the USA has. The USA needs Mexico, and Mexico needs the USA. And you see this every day. I mean, you see when they're building factories out here. Okay, so, for example, in the USA, there's tons of companies that are closing down. Restaurant chains, places like Sears, department stores, all kinds of things. And when you come out to Mexico, you see Sears all over the place. You see Texas Roadhouse all over the place. You see McDonald's, no Taco Bell, anyway, Subway. You see Burger King. You see all these things. And so they might be struggling in the USA and closing shop in the USA, but now these corporations are just coming out here. And again, Tesla's coming out here, and there's so many other industries, the tech industry. So right now, the USA, they were worried. Okay, remember, because of the COVID situation, a lot of things were kind of put out a lot of things were exposed. And so one of the things that was exposed is the fact that the USA relies so much on China for medicine. They rely on Taiwan for the computer chips, and I could go on and on. All right. So, the USA, they, acted accordingly, and they're like, okay, we cannot, rely on all of our computer chips coming from Taiwan because, well, if they get invaded, we're kind of screwed. So they started building factories out here in Mexico, in Guadalajara specifically, but, in many parts of Mexico. So now, again, a lot of electronics, a lot of computer chips, a lot of high-end electronics are coming from Mexico. All right. And so as each day goes on, the USA relies more and more on Mexico than ever before. And so since the Mexican government, okay, they are fully aware of this, well, they're using that as leverage. They're using that for their benefit. Okay, so basically now when the USA is trying to tell Mexico what to do, Mexico's telling them, no, we're not. Listen, you behave, okay? You stay on your side of the border, we stay on our side of the border, okay? You want computer chips, we got computer chips. You want avocados, we got avocados. You want drugs, we got drugs, okay? We got what you need, okay? But don't be trying to ruffle our feathers, because there's other countries that want avocados. There's other countries that would love computer chips and cars, and I could go on and on and on. And so as Mexico keeps getting more and more economically powerful, and a lot of it has to do with the USA buying all of its products, and especially more and more each and every day, that we're seeing that everything you get from China is basically trash. One of the main reasons I haven't even been able to fix my truck is every time I get a part from China, it's a piece of crap. And I could go on and on. How many things that you buy from China are just crap? But every time I buy anything that's made in Mexico, man, made in Mexico is what made in the USA used to be. It stood for quality. It stood for, craftsmanship. It stood for really, really great products, okay? Things that were going to last a long time. So Mexico is now taking over that, all right? And obviously, there's a lot of economic implications as to, why the USA would rather have things being created, built, okay, here in Mexico as opposed to the USA or abroad. Because at the end of the day, again, even if you're, getting things cheap from China, well, again, they got to come all the way from China. Imagine if you can get them cheap here in Mexico. In Mexico, the wages are actually less than China. Yeah, I know China has slaves and that's zero pay, but that's another story, all right? But the reality is that, these days, all right, going forward, what the USA plans is basically, to build the things here and just cross the border and we're good to go, all right? As opposed to relying on, the giant globalist supply chain, all right? So, just keep that all in mind, you know what I mean? Like, don't be listening to the rhetoric. Look, just going back to sports, like, for example, the Miami Dolphins. I love my team, good or bad, I'm going to be supporting them, all right? But again, right now, we're about to start the football season, and you already know it. Everybody right now, all teams, hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl. Well, maybe not all teams, but you know what I'm saying. Right now, if you're cheering for your team, they're going to be promising you that they're going to win the Super Bowl. And look at all the things that we did, okay, for the team, for you, the fan, so that we can bring you a Super Bowl. But again, it's only believable up until like the first or second or third week in the season, and then people realize, oh, wait a minute, these guys are only going to bring me the toilet bowl. They ain't going to bring me no Super Bowl, all right? So just keep that in mind, okay? It's the same thing, for politics. They promise one thing, like for example, Trump promised to drain the swamp. The swamp is still, the swamp is swampier than it has ever been before. All right? Okay? All right. In fact, another thing, like the Democrats say, the Republicans, Trump saying, hey, I'm going to put her in jail. I'm going to go after all my political opponents. I'm going to do all this. And did he put anybody in jail? Did he go after anybody? No. But who did? The Democrats. Okay, the Democrats went after Trump. They went after a bunch of other politicians and a bunch of people. They started putting people in jail. It's a freaking banana republic over there in the USA, all right? And I come from a banana republic, all right? My parents are Cuban, all right? So I know a little one thing or two about, dictatorships and communism and all this crap, okay? So, there's a reason why I left the USA many years ago, all right? 6 years and counting here in Mexico. But, you guys have to, snap out of it, okay? You got to realize, all right, that it doesn't matter who gets elected. Both of them are going to bring something good and something bad, but mostly bad. It doesn't matter who gets elected. They're both going to bring something bad, all right? So, again, I've talked about it before. Trump's going to bring that law and order. And people right now are basically begging for that law and order. All right. So it's like if you're a parent and you got kids and you got to play good cop, bad cop. Okay. So if you would have asked 4 years ago, hey, if you would have told the Americans 4 years ago, hey, I'm bringing in law and order and I'm going to be even tougher on people and we're going to start going after, all these, lawbreakers and all these people would be losing their shit. Okay. But now today, okay, 4 years, by the way, don't forget to hit the likes or the dislikes, okay? Anyways, so today, 4 years later, after we've had 4 years of the Biden administration, and they let the doors open, the floodgates open for the immigration crisis that we have now, which, by the way, again, I'm an immigrant, and, the USA always has immigration crises, but anyways, that's another story for another day. So, right now where we're at, the Democrats, those people in power, they let the floodgates open and let, the USA get filled with immigrants. Not just good immigrants, but bad immigrants. To the point where now, 4 years later, during this election, what are people begging for? Law and order. Crack down on the border. Crack down on these people. Oh, invade? Yeah, let's invade Mexico. It's a great idea. It's like, what? What the hell you mean invade Mexico? The hell do you mean you're going to start cracking down? What do you mean? What? So, people for whatever reason have lost their ability to think critically, to think for themselves, to have their own opinion, to have their own thoughts. Today, all people want to do is that they just want to go with whatever team. Okay. And so right now, like the only people that are really suffering more than anything else in the USA are those that do what I do, choose to just be in the middle and just call the whole thing for what it is, a clown show. And they're both, again, the left wing or the right wing, they're both the same. Okay. They're wings on the same bird. So, I don't know, man. To me, it is kind of crazy to see the whole polarization, but at the same time, it makes me very happy and glad that I live in Mexico and I don't have to deal with that. I cannot even imagine living in the USA right now. I cannot even imagine, having to deal with people right now, when it comes to politics, because out here in Mexico, every once in a while, I'll bump into an expat, a gringo, whatever, and the topic of politics comes up because they bring it up or it comes up. And, again, it's just so insane how polarized people are these days when it comes to that. And it's like, I don't want to talk about any of that stuff. I'm in Mexico. Sure, I'll look at it. I'll talk about it in the sense of like I do on my other channel, comedy. Okay, we got to laugh about this. Okay, we got to laugh about the clown show, right? They release the clowns. You got to laugh at the clowns. But other than that, I don't care. I don't want to hear about it. All right, I live in Mexico now. All right, and so when all of a sudden I hear not just Trump, but I hear other politicians in the USA say that they want to invade Mexico because, hey, we got to stop the cartel because of blah, 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 blah. Yeah, of course, it's a little concerning, because that's the first thing you hear. But once you just go a little deep, you don't have to go that deep. You can just put your toes in the water. You just go a little research, just do, a little whatever. And you quickly realize there's no way. There's no way. There's no way. And again, think about it. Okay, if the USA couldn't even control Afghanistan or any country out there in the Middle East, okay, and they're basically fighting people that have literally nothing, all right, what makes you think that they're going to be able to invade or fight or even win, okay, any kind of invasion or war with Mexico? Have you guys even seen the cartel and like how well armed they are? They got tanks, they got drones, they got missiles, they got all kinds. I mean, are you freaking kidding me right now? Like, look, a lot of the weapons that get shipped out, over there to whether it's Ukraine or whatever, wherever we're shipping these things over there, a lot of them end up coming back over here. They want drugs over there too, so basically, the cartel's like, hey, listen, we want more guns. In fact, we want some of the guns that we can't get. We want missiles. We want the whole thing. All right. And so, they'll get them from over there, and so it's a whole thing. All right. So don't even. All right. In my opinion, if the USA is stupid enough to do something like that, they're just going to get embarrassed all over again. So, no, the last thing on their mind is to do anything like that. So, yeah, you know what I mean? So when people out there, you know, are just so polarized. Okay, by the way, you know, the person in the chat at the beginning of the show that was losing their mind because I'm even talking about this subject, they sent me an email. All right, I just didn't respond, but they sent me an email, you know, before I even went live. And I've gotten many emails, whether it's on the left or the right. Don't talk about this. Don't say this. Be careful what you like, bro. Shut all of you guys. I don't care. Okay, shut up. Okay, and I don't want to be that guy. I'm not. You know, I know I'm an asshole. Okay, but I'm trying not to be. Okay, I'm trying to be the nicest possible. But you know, these things just drive me nuts, drive me insane because it's like, you know, for example, you know, the people on the right are all about free speech until you actually have free speech, and then they're like, hey, don't say that. Hey, why are you talking about that? You follow me? You know, the left is all about freedom until you actually do something, you know, freedom wise, and then all of a sudden, you know, they're bashing you, they're calling you racist, they're calling you whatever. The whole thing is a freaking clown show. People have no idea what's actually going on, and they just want to just choose their team, bury their heads in the sand, and just hope and pray that everything's going to get fixed and everything's going to be fine. And the reality is that that's not how it works. You got to go out there and you got to fix it, or you got to make it happen. And, you know, in this case with what's going on, you know, there's no fixing it right now. Are you kidding me? So, you know, that's why a lot of you guys are even watching videos like this or watching other videos on my channel, because you're looking to get out of there. You're looking to get the hell out of Dodge. All right. Because it's a lot of people are like, oh, is there civil war coming or World War III coming? Listen, it's already here. It's already here. It's already happening. I mean, if you are blind, if you are so blind that you can't even see it, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you anymore, all right? So, yeah, no, the whole thing, you know, the whole thing is just a disgusting mess, all right, to say the least. And it really is sad. It really does sadden me when I see, you know, people get so angry and so upset with me. Look, on my other channel, again, a little shameless plug. Again, remember, when we're done with this live stream, we're going to go over there to Unleashed, all right? And we're going to be, you know, talking about Trump's ear because, you know, all of a sudden people stop talking about that. So I'm curious. I want to know more about what's going on with that. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But the point I'm making is that, you know, people losing their stuff over there when I was talking about the other side, when I was talking about the Democrats. And now I talk about the Republicans, and people lose their shit as well. So it's like you can't win. You cannot win. But anyways, what I was going to say is that over there, you know, I try to be more comedic than anything else. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so like I'm gonna go through the chat real quick, okay? Because I know you guys probably have some questions and things to say. Let me see. But yeah, what I was gonna say is like, yeah, it just makes me sad. It makes me so sad to see. Oh yeah. What I was gonna say is that, okay, so last week on my other show, okay, again, just talking about, you know, Trump not knowing what color Kamala is. Again, it's a joke. It's funny, okay? Please. You know, people out there were basically leaving me all kinds of messages. You know, I'm super upset. Like, I cannot believe that I watched your videos, that I donated $10, you know, or $50 or whatever it is. I cannot believe that I helped support your show, and I cannot believe that I watched your stuff after everything you said, and da 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 and dee 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 da. And I'm like, bro, what's wrong with you people? What does that have to do with this? You know, if all of a sudden I'm out here, okay, and I'm helping you, okay, to the point where you find it necessary, all right, you out of the kindness of your heart, you want to donate some money to the show to help support everything I'm doing here, so that I can continue doing what I'm doing here, so I can continue helping individuals out there that are trying to find a solution, to try to escape, to get out of you know, the situation they're in out there. And I helped you get out of Dodge. I helped you with whatever it is I helped you, okay? Whether it was, you know, moving to Mexico, you know, your mental health, whatever it is, okay? Whatever it is, you know, motivated you to you know, do what you got to do. However it is that I helped you, okay? and you found that out of the kindness of your heart that you wanted to now help me and send me a few bucks or whatever. Now, why is it all of a sudden when I'm expressing my opinion and I'm trying to, be funny, whether I'm funny or not, that doesn't matter, okay? There's a lot of people that can argue, okay, that I'm not funny, all right? And that's fine. I totally get it. It's not a big deal to me, all right? I'm doing this because I enjoy it. But the point is that that all of a sudden, like, I am expressing my opinions. I'm talking, I'm what I feel, what I think, and I'm also trying to entertain, make you guys laugh, whatever it is, and that is enough to all of a sudden turn you against me. That I feel sorry and bad for these people. I feel so, whether you're on the left or the right, and it's happened on both sides, okay? And by the way, I got tons of friends that are far right, far left, regular right, in the middle. I got friends all over the place, okay? But these, all of us can have a civil conversation and get along and all that stuff. But when you are so far, okay, off the deep end, and whatever it is you believe in, that all of a sudden, I mean, think about it. Again, just going back to sports. Okay, I'm a Miami Dolphins fan, and I say, hey, I hate the New York Jets. F that team. I hate everything about the New York Jets, yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden it's like, what do you mean you hate the New York Jets? I'm never going to watch you again. I wish I could get a refund, for the $10 I sent you or the $50 I sent you or whatever it is I sent you or whatever it is I did to help you. All right? Even though I've been watching you for years and you've been helping me and you've been, a great asset, how dare you talk about the New York Jets? And I'm like, wait, what? What'd you say? Huh?
Bruh.
What's wrong with you? What the fuck does it matter? What does it matter? What does it matter what team I cheer for? What does it matter what team I don't like? Seriously, what does one thing have to do with the other? Now, all of a sudden, because I express an opinion that you don't like, now everything else I've said before is null and void? Now you feel guilty or horrible, for listening to me in the past? And for receiving help from me in the past for free? I mean, come on, man. To me, it's just... Yeah, I know, exactly. We all pity the Jets. I know, that's right. I mean... I can already see Aaron Rodgers getting injured again, within the first three plays. That is so New York Jets, okay? By the way, I don't want to get into all that, okay? We're not talking about sports here, but I mean, it's just, it is just so ridiculous, man. It is so ridiculous that, so many people are being led astray right now because of what's going on. I'm not shitting on anyone out there. I'm just calling it like it is. But people these days are unable to, even use their brain. I feel like most people have been captured mentally. And it's sad. It's sad. It's really, really sad, okay? And of course it happens, okay? Like I said, I live in Mexico, and I see it happen here, with sports, where people fight, to the death, for, cheering for their sports team or, the Olympics or even politics. Like I said, when I was talking about Mexican politics on my Mexican channel, basically just kind of like laying it out for people, my God, I had so many people lose their shit over that. And it's like, what is wrong with you people? So to me, look, one of the reasons I love living in Mexico and I'm so happy being in Mexico is that I am so removed from everything happening in the USA these days. Even though, again, both countries are tied at the hip. All right. And there's a lot of overlap with a lot of things in between Mexico and the USA. I don't have to. They're both basically going to have the same policy with Mexico, which is a mutual beneficial relationship. The end. Because they need each other desperately. OK, because, look, Mexico, at the end of the day, sure, if the USA does something stupid and they don't want to, any country, okay, comes out to Mexico and attacks Mexico, that the USA is just going to sit there and no, the USA is going to protect Mexico, all right? Just like they protect other countries, all right? And especially when it's in their best interest, all right? So don't listen to the rhetoric. Don't listen to anything out there, because the reality is that, both countries need each other very much, all right? And, look, at the end of the day, people don't even want to, talk about the fact that, when Biden got, into presidency, he was also going after Mexico. He was basically, telling Mexico, hey, you better, get your shit together, or we're going to go in there and we're going to get, we're going to fix your problem. But that never happened. Again, it's just rhetoric. And the USA, let me know if I'm back. It seems like I'm back. Wow, that's funny. That's funny. I got a little bit too close to the sun there. Funny how that always happens, huh? Anyways, let me know when I'm back. Hopefully I'm back already. All right. Okay. Anyways, I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. Can someone in the chat remind me of what I was just saying before I got knocked off by YouTube? By the way, shout out to Willow with the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we're back. Yeah, that's right. So, all right, we're back though. Okay, but what was I saying? Man, I was saying something before they knocked me off. I was about to say something. Maybe someone can remind me where I was going with all that. Eesh. I was talking shit. I wasn't saying those things, guys. I wasn't talking about those things. I see you guys in the chat there. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh man, so frustrating when you lose your train of thought like that. All right, we're gonna wait a second until let's see my brain gets turned back on. My apologies. 1 second, hold on. Thank you, Alicia. You're right. Okay. So Mexico and the USA need each other so much, okay? The reality is that, look, the USA, okay, really, okay, they would love to cut ties with China. And by the way, this goes back as far as Obama and Hillary, okay? That they had this pivot, again, you can look it up, Google it, whatever. The pivot towards China. Pivot towards the East, okay? And their plan was, again, way back then, before Trump was even a thought to get elected, way back then, they wanted to basically, again, pull out of the Middle East, or not, not completely, they're not completely pull out. They don't have a really good pull-out game, but, that's another story. But anyways, they wanted to pull out of there and move towards China. They want war with China. They want war with Russia as well, but that's another story. But they look, just to keep it whatever. Not only do they want war with China, but the reality is that they rely on China just way too much. The USA relies on China too much, okay? And at the moment, we got to remember this, okay? China has 1 billion people, okay? They are the most populous country on earth. Well, I think India just took them over, but regardless, okay? They got 1 billion people, okay? Now, granted, not everyone, okay, is working in a factory making shitty products from Temu, to send them to the USA or whatever. But the reality is that they have a giant workforce in China, okay? And even though the USA would love to pull out of China, okay, and put all of their manufacturing in Mexico, and have Mexico basically, be the one and only real source of everything, they can't. And you know why they can't? It's because Mexico's population is only like 135 million. And remember, that's everybody included. So how much is the actual workforce? Let's just say 70 million, 80 million, 100 million. I mean, whatever. It's still nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. There's more people, in the Uyghurs. Okay, I'm trying to, Anyways, China has more slaves, okay, than Mexico has, people working in factories to send stuff to the USA. So as much as the USA would love to just rely on Mexico and solely on Mexico, and maybe a few other outlying countries, and even rely on themselves. They can't. Mexico doesn't have the workforce. They don't have enough people. They just don't. You know what I mean? It's as simple as that. So the reality is that they have to still rely on China. They still have to rely on, Pakistan. They got to rely on all these other countries where a lot of this stuff is made. So yes, the USA and Mexico are really close at the hip, and each and every day there's more and more trade, okay? Because they want to rely more and more on Mexico for too many, positive reasons, but they can't, rely solely on Mexico. It's just impossible, okay? So they need to rely on China. They need to rely on other nations out there in order to get all the crap that the typical American likes to buy on a daily basis, okay? So you got to keep that in mind. That's just like a major reality of it too, that a lot of people just don't want to look into. They don't even want to acknowledge. They don't even want to talk about, that's the reality of it, okay? And, China, they're not stupid. They're coming to Mexico. They're building factories in Mexico so that they can, do the near shoring, so that they can make the products here. First of all, they can come out here to Mexico, build a factory, hire Mexicans, again, lower wages, and then they can ship, the stuff straight, on a truck to Arizona or Texas or whatever it is, all right? So, it's a lot more complicated than people, have in mind, okay? So there's no way, okay, ever, okay, by the way, I don't want to say never because you never know, but the reality is that no, if all of a sudden the USA, doesn't matter who's in power, hello, yeah, I don't know why I keep losing connection. Man, this is apparently a topic nobody wants me to talk about. Sheesh, as the kids like to say these days. Seems like I keep losing. Anyways, so yeah, Lily out there in the audience says Mexico gets along great with China and Russia. Yeah, Mexico gets along great with all countries. Okay, they're not here to pick sides. They're not here to be on one side or the other if possible. They are a free nation. They care about liberty and freedom. Okay, and up until recently, when Julian Assange was still in jail, when Julian Assange was still being held prisoner, Mexico was offering Julian Assange asylum. Mexico offers asylum to dictators. It doesn't matter whether they're good or bad or what side of the aisle they fall into, what country they're coming from. Mexico basically offers asylum to everybody. Right now, for Claudia Sheinbaum's inauguration, for president, they invited Ukraine and Russia and China, and they invited everybody to come along. Come along and get along. Don't worry, it's a big party. We can all get along, right? So, yeah, no, Mexico's a different, animal out here. It's a different country. And by the way, let's not forget, the USA, California, they invited Chinese president not too long ago, right? They cleaned up the streets just for him and all that stuff. So, but anyways, I digress, all right? The point is that, man, I cannot believe I keep losing, what is it, like internet connection here. Anyways, Rodney, shout out to Rodney with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Thank you. Much appreciated. Anyways, I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on with the internet. So, but I'm glad that I'm back. It is really interesting to see. As I'm talking about this, I'm actually, I don't know if I'm getting censored or it's just the actual internet that's going down. But hey, it is what it is. I don't really believe too much in censorship because, again, you can go online, you can go on YouTube, and you can see that. There are channels, okay, that are, anti-establishment, and they have millions of subscribers, and, they get millions of views on their channel, and on their videos. So, there really was censorship. Which I know there is. I know there's censorship. Let's not get it twisted. If there really was, the crazy censorship that people, say that there is, you wouldn't see any of that stuff, okay? You wouldn't see, other talking points or whatever. I think that right now we're living in a world of oversaturation when it comes to information, And, you know, the best way to manipulate people is to give them so much information, real, not real, whatever, that they themselves are so confused that they don't even know what the hell's going on anymore, right? So, yeah, who knows? Thank you, Harley Quinn. I really appreciate it. No, listen, Harley Quinn, I do talk about whatever I want. The thing is that, look, I'll just be honest. On this channel, okay, I try to keep it, 99% all about Mexico, living in Mexico. And, you got to remember that I have to create, content. I have to create topics to talk about. And, I'm not going to lie, when I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about this week, I really couldn't think of anything, right? I remember when I turn the cameras off, I also have a life, okay? And I got things going on my end, and I've been very busy the last few weeks. And, when it came down to, I got to create a topic to talk about this week, I really couldn't think of anything. And then I don't know how it came to me. But the topic of this week's episode came to me because it was a real thing that was said multiple times, not just by Trump, but other people on the Republican side. So I said, yeah, this is a good topic. This makes sense because right now we're in the elections, and a lot of people are worried that if Trump were to get in power, that he could do something like that. The Republicans, they would love to invade. That's their rhetoric, but again, this is why I wanted to talk about this today, to let people know that that's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen, no matter what they say. All right, and also to let people know, if they don't know already, but I think most of you guys already know that all sides, every politician, it doesn't matter who's out there, they're all corrupt on different levels. All right, and for me, yes, I would love for Trump to be in power only for the lulz, for the comedy aspect. Okay, because we all remember, when he was in power, it was just, tweet after tweet, comedy after comedy. It was, we were in stitches, we were laughing so hard, okay, all the time. All right. So to me, it's like, the last 4 years have been pretty boring, with Sleepy Joe, whatever. And now, we got the drunk mom, coming into power probably. Who knows? Because nobody knows. Nobody knows. Are you kidding me? Right now, if Kamala, wins in a landslide, it would not surprise me at all. That's another story for another day. That's not what we're talking about here. But all I'm saying is that I feel, at least from the entertainment perspective, that Trump is a lot more entertaining. Okay? But again, I have swallowed my words many times before, and I would not be surprised that if Kamala wins, that oh my god, she will be even funnier. The thing is that Trump is like a stand-up comedian, so you already know what you're getting. You're watching him, you're listening to him, you're reading his tweets, and it's just stand-up comedy. This guy, I can't wait to see his comedy special. But for Kamala, on the other hand, she's not trying to be funny. It's just, which is funny on its own. She's trying to be serious. It just comes off as funny. All right. So either way, whether Orange Man or Drunk Mom, gets elected, it's all going to be funny. All right. But obviously, we all can agree that Trump is probably going to be, is probably the funnier one. Okay. If they had to go head to head, which, right, one of the debates, by the way, I can't wait for that. That's going to be comedy gold for sure. So I can't. So that's the thing. And so look. The reason that I can laugh about this and I talk about it this way is because I don't live there anymore. If I was living in the USA right now, I probably wouldn't be laughing as much. I'd probably be a lot more serious. I'd probably be, just a lot more depressed and upset. But since I don't live there anymore and I'm removed, I am now watching the movie from far away. So now as I'm watching the movie from far away, now I can really get to enjoy the movie and laugh. And because it doesn't affect me one way or the other, really, because I don't live there anymore. I don't plan on living there anytime soon until the USA gets their shit together. And then that might not be until I'm 80 years old. I don't know. I don't got any real faith in the USA turning it around anytime soon. But if they do, I'll be more than happy to go back. Otherwise, I'm happy out here. There's a whole big world out there that needs exploring, all right? So I'm going to be doing that. In fact, I got Mexico to explore. There's a lot more to see there. So anyway, shout out to Pablo with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, man. You know, wow, really, really appreciate it. Yeah, because it's been a little slow the last few months in the sense of, because I don't know if it's because of the political season or what's going on, but, and I'm sure you guys have noticed because you guys watch YouTube videos that you guys are not seeing as many commercials or ads in front of videos or during videos anymore. So it's affecting everybody, me included. So obviously, you know, if you guys aren't watching ads, I'm not getting any ad revenue. And so, you know, obviously, you know, that's dropped, and it's been, you know, a little slow because it's summer. People are panicking, you know, on the streets because they don't know who's going to get elected, you know, and all these, you know, insane things that are happening over there in the USA right now. I think people are a little bit more worried about that than moving to Mexico per se, you know. But regardless, you know, thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate you, you know, with the donations and all the help. You know, shout out to all the members, you know, shout out to all the patrons, you know, shout out to everyone out there that, you know, donates, you know, to my videos, my shows. Shout out to Willow, Rodney, and Pablo, you know, all three of you guys, you know, for donating today, you know, for super chats. Really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Let me see. That's right. All politicians are just terrible. You know what I mean? All politicians are corrupt. William says, Jose, they are watching you. They want you back. Oh, I know. They can't wait to have me back. Anyways, but yeah, you know, to me, at the end of the day, you know, the USA has turned into a banana republic. I never thought in a million years, you know. Again, I grew up in the USA, born and raised in the USA, and I'm 43, gonna be, wait, 43? Wait, how old am I? Yeah, 43. Sorry. 43 going on 44. And my gosh, you know what I mean? I never thought in a million years that, you know, we would get to a point where the US would resemble Cuba, okay, or a banana republic or any one of these, you know, nations. That, you know, I never thought. I never thought that. I never thought that we would get to this point where the USA would veer so far off the deep end that it would end up into what it is today. And look, to me, it's like this, you know, right now, the USA, it looks like they're on their, you know, on a direct path to either go to communism or fascism. One or the other, it's coming. And they both suck, okay? Because again, communism is one end of the spectrum over here, and then fascism is the other end of the spectrum, okay? So one is left, one is right, all right? So one is coming. You guys see it. You guys feel it. There's no, you know, going back to the middle and being America again. You know, that's not coming anytime soon. Okay, you see people right now already losing their shit and fighting people on the street just for their political opinion. So you're going to tell me now that if Trump gets elected, that the left is not going to lose their shit and do, you know, some sort of riot and, you know, and what is it, a peaceful protest or whatever it is. And then if the left win, that the right is not going to have, you know, their, you know, another January 16th or whatever. You know, I mean, you know, so you guys feel it. It's in the air. It's so thick you can cut, you know, the thing with a knife. All right? So, and you said it, Chris, you know, divide and conquer, you know, and they've divided everybody. They've divided everybody so much. It's like, you know, they've made, what's the word I'm looking for? They minced it all together, okay? You know, normally when they divide and conquer, it's just divide down the middle. No. They've cut it so many times now that they've divided it, you know, even within the right. Okay, so right now, let's say that you are conservative, the right. Even within the party, they're fighting again, you know, they're fighting amongst each other. Within the left, they're all fighting with each other and so on and so forth. And it's just, you know, one thing after the other. It just keeps splitting everybody and splitting everybody. It's like gremlins, okay? I feel like the USA is, you know, was a gremlin and is a gremlin, whatever. Anyways, and they got thrown water on it. And every time that they do anything, it doesn't matter what it is, you know, it's like they keep throwing water and they keep throwing water on the USA. And so obviously, if you guys seen the movie Gremlins, you know what happens. You know, you throw water on the gremlin and then they multiply. And they multiply. And they multiply. And they keep multiplying. And now it's like, you know, it's just a giant mess of gremlins everywhere. That's what the USA has turned into. And it's not that far off. I mean, again, if you walk through any major U.S. city these days, you literally see the gremlins, you see the zombie apocalypse, you see the regular apocalypse, you see you see it all. You see everything that's going on. It's not a theory anymore. It's not like fictional movie or whatever. No, it's a real thing. It's already happening. It's already there. It's in your face. For the people that don't see it, I don't know what to say. The USA has become more dangerous than some of the most dangerous cities. Than some of the most dangerous countries in the world. It's insane. And again, it's not just the USA. You go to Europe. Have you seen what's going on in Europe right now? Anyone? So yeah, no, I mean, freaking gremlins, man. Yay. So. Yeah, no, it is pretty nuts. Look, but I'm not gonna lie. Like I said before, I went live today, and I got this email, okay, from somebody in the audience that was not happy that I was even gonna talk about this. They just thought that I was gonna be, negative on Trump and positive, for the left. Yeah, the left. Yeah. And then they jumped into the chat and they started. To me, it's just like, come on. Just like I said last week, on my other channel talking about, the left, I guess. You know what I mean? But I was talking about everybody. I talk about everybody kind of equally. But again, people were losing their stuff. Again, orange man bad or whatever it is. You know what I mean? And it's just like, man, they're both bad. They're all bad. They all suck. Look, I'll leave it with this. I wish I had the skit. I wish I had the meme, the thing to show you guys. But there are these comedians, okay, that I found on Instagram, okay. I'm that old, okay. I'm not on TikTok or anything like that. I'm like everyone else out there. I wait for something to not be popular on TikTok anymore, and then they upload it to Instagram, and I'll watch it there. But anyways, the point I'm making is that there are these two comedians, right? And part of their act, on YouTube, on Instagram, part of their act is that they both dress up like aliens. I mean, they get in full gear. I mean, funny. It's pretty funny. Okay, so they dress up like aliens, and then they have a podcast. So you can imagine. All right, so basically it's Alien 1 and Alien 2. And they're having a podcast, and they talk about all kinds of things. Basically, it's the aliens looking at aliens looking at humans and making fun of humans, or just kind of like observing humans. Just like us humans, we'll look at dogs and cats and observing, like, oh, I wonder why the dog does that. Oh, cats are such assholes, because they're always knocking things down, whatever. So these aliens, basically the show, okay, the little skits that they do is these aliens that are having this podcast and they're talking about things. And I will never forget this one that they did where basically the aliens are like, hey man, did you guys seen that there's he goes, hey man, did you see that there's this like election happening in the US right now? What's up with elections? What's up with elections all over the world? How come every election, it doesn't matter what country, they always got to choose between evil? Oh, no, sorry. Between, what's the word? No, what was it like? The lesser of two evils, right? Yeah. They got to choose evil and less evil, or evil and more evil. How about no evil? How about no bad? All right. How about, how about the humans? They pick, two good leaders to pick from. And so that always kind of like, baffled me, you know what I mean? Like in the sense of like the world that we're living in right now, why is it that most people, it doesn't matter the country, Mexico included, that the people, keep putting up with this crap, where it's like, shit and shit. Or, South Park did this a long time ago where I think it was a douchebag and shit sandwich. Remember? They did an episode on an election. And it was like, why do people, put up with this? You know what I mean? Like, it's like, or why do people like invest so much into this? All right. And so it's the same thing. That's why I kind of compare it to sports, because look, at least when I'm fully invested in my shitty football team, I know I'm going to set myself up for disappointment. Okay. And I know, what I'm in for. I already know that my Sundays are probably going to be ruined. Okay. By watching these stupid games. But at least I'm self-aware of that, and I know what I'm getting into. But the people out there that, are not self-aware to understand that, and they really, 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 really invest so hard and so deep into these teams or into these political groups or into these tribes or whatever it is, those are the people out there that are just like, man, it's just sad because it's like, come on, man. Come on. Again, like cheering for Hulk Hogan and then getting upset that Hulk Hogan lost the match. It's like, bro, you do know there's a script, right? And it's the same thing with what's going on now. All right. It's very, very, very similar. And, but yeah, like I said, the aliens are just, when they just kind of brought that up, you know what I mean? Like it was funny, but just like that whole point of view was like, yeah, what's wrong with these humans? Why do they always got to pick between, evil and more evil, or evil and less evil? It's like, how about no evil? How about no evil? All right. How about like, like a good, representative. Okay. And so that's the thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, that's, it's just the sad part, you know what I mean? Is the fact that most people, the reality is like how to really combat, this whole thing is to not participate at all. How they get you is when you participate. And so many people are unable to just turn it off and not participate anymore. All right. And it's just, it's sad, you know what I mean? It really is, it's a little disheartening too. But I mean, you saw during the whole COVID thing, you know what I mean? When that happened, how people were, on one side or the other, and it's just like, for me, I was just so sad to see so many people just fall for everything. Doesn't matter what side you were on. I tell you, bro, just think for yourself for once, people. But you already know. They do everything humanly possible so that you lack the ability to think for yourself anymore. Oh, shout out to Char Williams with the $10 super chat. All right. Man, I guess you guys are really liking today's video, even though, I did get a lot of hate, before I even started the show and, the beginning of the show, for even wanting to cover this topic or any topic, again, even on my other channel. I was really, really happy. I'm really, really happy to see that so many of you guys out there in the audience are really enjoying this talk, this conversation. And, again, you guys show me straight up, by sending me donations or whatever, whether I'm entertaining you guys or whatever it is, I really, 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 really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much, because, that gives me confidence to keep doing what I'm doing, which, by the way, it's not like I need any more confidence. I'm going to still do what I do. I'm not going to stop. I'm just a machine. It is what it is, and I really don't care. People's opinions do not pay my bills. The $10 super chat does, so thank you. Shout out to Chris. Bruh. Shout out to Char. Shout out to you guys, all right? And that's right. If you don't got any haters, you ain't doing it right. So to me, I love my haters, okay? Look, this is something I learned a long time ago, back during the Howard Stern days. By the way, how far has that guy fallen from one end to the other, right? That's another story. But anyways, I remember I used to listen to Howard Stern, like way back in the day, 90s, right? And I remember, I think it was in the movie. Remember the movie that he made, Private Parts or whatever it was called? Anyways, in that movie, basically there was a scene when, again, he was, doing his radio show, yada, yada, yada. And then the censors, for CBS, NBC, I don't know who he was working for or whatever, they came in. And they were basically giving him his numbers, and the numbers basically says like, hey, Howard, I got the numbers, the latest, numbers as the people that listen to your show. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. Let me, what are the numbers? And so he's basically says, okay, so people that love your show, people that are fans, like they love the Howard Stern show, they listen for an average of like 30 minutes. Now, the people that hate the Howard Stern show, the people that hate everything, about you, they listened for like an hour and a half. It's like, bro, what, huh? It's like, so it's the same thing. I know I got many haters out there in the audience, that are constantly listening to me. I see it. Look, I know you guys cannot see the thumbs downs anymore, but my God, you should see how many thumbs downs I get for some of these videos that I make. I mean, I make a video about residency, and I get so many thumbs downs, and I get so many negative comments, and it's like, what's wrong with you people, man? What the hell is wrong with you people, man? And like some people will straight up tell me, Like, oh, I came to Mexico 10 years ago and I had to do it the hard way. Why are you out there telling people that they have an easier way to get their residency these days? That's not fair. They should, go through all the trouble that I went through. It's like, bro, what the... Man, humans are awful. Humans are awful. I am not... Again, here, another quote from another movie. You can tell I love entertainment, right? Anyways, you guys ever seen that movie Clerks? Okay, so if you guys ever seen that movie Clerks, Randall and Dante, there was a scene that they were talking, and Randall was telling Dante, yeah, and this is how much of a fanboy I am, all right? Yes, I used to love Kevin Smith, all right? Anyways, the point is, okay, so Randall and Dante were talking, and Randall, told Dante, they were just having a conversation. By the way, you guys should watch that movie. It's really funny. Randall told, I never forget this because it's so true. Randall told Dante, he's like, hey, Dante, you know what? I realize that I hate people, but I love gatherings. And I remember I listened to this when I was, 20 years old or 18 years old. And even today, it's still 1,000% true. I'm not a fan of people. I love you guys. You guys are great. You guys are awesome, okay? This is a gathering, okay? So I hate people. But I love gatherings, all right? And what do I mean by I hate people? Again, you deal with people every day. You guys are not a fan of people either. Humans suck, all right? For the most part, in one shape, form, or another. There's a few good ones out there, like you. Everyone out there in the audience, you guys are all good. Even my haters, I love you guys. But you know what I'm saying? Humans suck. And now that we're living in a really, really sucky world, these humans that normally suck, they're even worse. Everyone sucks even more. Everything is just terrible. So, yeah, no, it's just... But look, another thing, George Carlin also said this. And George Carlin, wise beyond his years. Man, I wish he was alive today. Can you imagine having George Carlin around today? But anyways. But he also said this. He said... humans are great. If you treat humans individually, one-on-one, they're great. Doesn't matter, for the most part, how they feel, what they think about, their opinions or whatever. For the most part, if you're dealing with a human one-on-one, they're great. The minute that you're dealing with more than one human, humans that are gathered, in their tribe, in their team, in their whatever it is, that's when they really start to suck. And that's 100% true as well, because if you treat humans out there, other people that you bump into on a regular basis, if you treat them one-on-one on an individual, basis, they're pretty all right. Even if you disagree on comments, or agree to disagree or whatever it is, they're pretty palatable. All right. But the minute that people just start, joining their groups, like Jets fans, for example. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I can't help myself today with the stupid Jets. Anyways, the point is that, once they start gathering, again, look, how about this? I can deal with one Jet fan, sure. I mean? I can watch a game with one Jet fan. But if I got to watch a Dolphins game with more than one Jets fan, listen, someone's going to end up with a chair broken over their head, WWF style at some point. It might be me. But the point is that, and so not just with sports, but that's everything. Okay? And so that's just the truth, I mean? It's just nuts, Anyway, so that's right, Adrian. I'm 100% with you on that. Adrian just said, the more I interact with humans, the more I like my dog. Look, again, might as well share this with you because you brought up the dog. But right before I came, okay, like I said, I was already getting hate mail today, okay, before I even started doing the stream. And it bothered me a little bit, not because of the hate. I don't give a crap. Again, I'm Latino. There's nothing anyone out there in the audience can say to me that my mom hasn't already told me, okay? So I'm whatever, what I mean? Like, I'm bulletproof when it comes to that. It just bothered me because it's like, man, I feel sad for that individual. I feel sad for these individuals out there, right? And I like I said, right before I went live, Gizmo, my dog, was just being dog, and, I saw him and I'm like, I go and I don't know, I just spent a little extra time with him right before I went live because it was just like exactly what you said, Adrian. The longer, the more I'm the longer I'm on this planet, the more I realize, like, man, humans suck. Animals, they're pretty good. They're pretty all right. Even cats, they're pretty all right. Okay. So, but yeah, and I don't like using that word hate. I really don't like, going that far. But yeah, man, in today's world, man, humans really suck. And so look, that's another reason why I love living in Mexico so much, is because, the amount of sucky humans out here are a lot less. Okay. There's a lot less sucky humans out here. Even though there are sucky humans out here, I get along with most of my neighbors, 90% of my neighbors. Okay. I see them almost every day, when I'm walking around, going to the store, whatever it is. So, I get along with most of my neighbors, but there's a few neighbors I don't get along with because they're assholes. You know what I mean? And I'm a loud Cuban. I'm not going to shut up, if something happens. And, like I've had situations where, I got neighbors, they got dogs and they let the dogs loose in the neighborhood and they're aggressive and they're whatever. I'm not going to let that dog, bite me or my dog or my wife or anything. I walk around with a magic stick and I got to do what I got to do. We're in Mexico. By the way, I checked with authorities. I'm in all my right and power to defend myself. The point I'm making is that, I've encountered these owners and they don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Because they know the laws and how things work out here in Mexico. And so at the end of the day, it's like, okay, great. I know my laws and I know how things work out here too. You know what I mean? So you just, be careful. And again, they get, okay, so it's like this. I'm walking my dog, okay, in the morning, and then I get attacked, okay, by one of the neighbor's dogs, right? Literally on the street. And my neighbor that owns that dog is screaming at me because their own dog is attacking me. And I was like, no, lady, no, man, no, sorry. You picked on the wrong dude. And my dog is very aggressive. So I was like, no, man, you picked with the wrong motherfuckers out here, okay? So, but all I'm saying is that humans, they're going to suck everywhere, okay? And right now in the USA, it seems like everyone sucks. Out here, like most of the world, you're just going to encounter a few sucky people from time to time because that's what humans are, okay? But, yeah. You kidding me? Out here, like I said, whether it was COVID or politics or whatever it is, and I encountered other Mexicans that disagreed with me or I disagreed with them, okay? Whether it's religion, whether it's science, whatever it is, it's always been a mutual agreement to disagree. Or, we have a mutual conversation. They'll tell me what they think about XYZ. I'll tell them what I think about XYZ. And, maybe I'll learn something. Maybe they'll learn something. Maybe neither one of us will learn something. But it's not affecting our relationship at all. Period. If you want to think what you're going to think, great. They also respect me enough to let me think what I think and vice versa. And that's it. And whatever happened, what happened to that in the USA? I remember when I was a kid, the USA used to be more like that, but it's not like that at all anymore. It's turned into something very ugly, very nasty. And again, even just talking about, look, I'm not going to lie. Today's, the reason I put today's title and on the show more than anything else, obviously, yeah, I was going to talk about this, but it's a little clickbaity in the sense of like, hey, I'm trying to get your attention so that you guys can click on something so we can, talk about whatever. But the point is that is enough, for people to lose their freaking minds. People that have known me for years lose their minds, even though they know that the way I think. So it's like, what? You just forgot all of a sudden how I think about these things? Because that's another thing too. It's like, these people spewing hate today. I know them and they know me. Again, I don't know them. I know their screen name on the YouTubes, whatever it is. But to the point where I know that they've been following me long enough to know that what I'm talking about today is pretty mild to the things that I used to talk about. So why all of a sudden, have people lost their mind and think that I've, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I'm going to become a Jets fan overnight. I mean, seriously. It's like if all of a sudden, like the title of the show today would have been, let's talk about Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. And I would get a lot of hate mail Say, hey, I thought you were a Dolphins fan. Hey, I thought you hated the Jets. Hey, what's wrong with you? Why are you all of a sudden now on Team Jets? And I'm like, bro, what did I, huh? What? What made you even think that? I'm not even live yet. I haven't even said a word yet. Anyways. All right, guys. So you already know the deal. All right. We're going to got to end this at some point. I mean, I can't talk forever. Okay. Sorry. I know I can talk forever, but I'm trying not to, trying to limit these videos and these shows. But anywho's, I'm not going anywhere, as you guys know. I'm going to be on my other channel. Okay. We're about to go live over there. All right. So I got to end it here. All right. Take a little break. I got to, take Lambo out. Oh, now you remember me? I've been here all day. All right, forget it. Anyways, the point is that I'm going to be on, we're going to go on to the other show. For those of you guys that don't know, okay, my other channel, it's on screen, Jose Unleashed, okay? And I'm going to send you guys the link. I'm going to put it in the chat so that you guys can go on ahead and join me over there, okay? But today, we're going to be talking about... we're going to take a closer look at Trump's ear. Look, that got censored too. What do you know? How funny. So we're going to be talking about that. And again, we're not going to really talk about Trump's ear. I mean, we are a little bit, but you guys that know me long enough, just like today's show, we're going to be talking about much more than just that. Okay? So here's the link to that video, to the live stream, and I hope to see you there real soon. Okay? Because I'm going to be over there in about 45 minutes, give or take, all right? So like I said, I got to wrap this up. I got a few things I got to do, and I will be right back, and we're going to be over there on the other channel. If you haven't already subscribed, okay, please subscribe. If you're not going to join us later today, but you still want to, be a part of all that, please, it would help me a lot. In fact, I never ask you guys for anything. All right, this is one thing I'm going to ask you guys. Whether you like me or not, or whether you like that kind of content on the other channel or not, can you at least subscribe? That would be very nice. I would really appreciate that. I'm trying to see if I can get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm actually really surprised by how much it's grown, so far. So I want to give a shout out to all of you guys. I really appreciate you guys. And I hope to see you guys over there so we can get some laughs. Okay, we need to laugh because... in today's world, with all things that are going on, you're either laughing or you're crying. And you already know, there's no crying in baseball. All right? Whatever. Anyways. So, with that said, guys, you already know the deal. I love you guys to death, okay? You guys are the best, okay? I love all of my fans. I love all of my haters. I love all of you guys, all right? I really do. I really, really do. And I'm really, really sorry if for whatever reason, some of you guys out there, get so upset with me to the point where you don't want to follow me anymore. I feel bad for you guys, and I feel sorry for you guys, and I hope you guys, can get your things together and get your shit straight. But it's fine. It is what it is. I love everyone out there. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't have any hate for anyone out there at all, except the Jets. Fuck the Jets. But anyways, all right, guys, with all that being said, I know, right? Anyways, all right, guys, with all that being said, you already know the deal, all right? I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to please like, please subscribe, please share, please hit the bell icon. But more importantly than anything else, please stay awesome. And please think for yourself, okay? Please. More than at any other point in human history, you guys really need to start thinking for yourself. I know most of you guys out there think for yourselves, and you guys have a really good head on your shoulders because you guys use Head and Shoulders. It's really good. It's really good. Anyways, but with all that being said, for reals, guys, okay? We're living in some weird times. I can't even say the word weird. I heard, I don't even know who, the left or the right, but someone was like, you can't even say the word weird anymore. Anyways, we're still living in such weird times that you can't even say weird anymore. So please, okay, keep your head on your shoulders by using their shampoo. That's really great because at the end of the day, okay, what they're trying to do is, again, divide and conquer. They're trying to confuse you. They're trying to, oversaturate everything to make you think you're nuts when you're really not nuts. You just happen to like nuts, okay? And some of you guys have a nut allergy, but that's another story. I think I try too hard to be funny sometimes, but it is what it is. All right, guys, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys on the other show, and I'll see you guys here on Sunday, and I'll see you guys here next Thursday. And don't worry, I'm not going to be talking about politics or bringing up this kind of stuff on this channel anymore if I can avoid it, okay? Because, you know, man, people are people. Humans, right? Humans. Anyways, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys over there in a few minutes, all right? Love you. Bye. Thanks for watching.